What's good, everybody? It's your gearhead, Mr. Logic himself. And as you know, I got my beautiful co host with me today.
Hi, you guys. It's your girl, Nate. Oh, I love that. So me.
And we also have.
Yes, sir, Ski. It's your boy, Sir Zanyo. You already know what it is. Thank you, Timo Sabe.
And if you didn't catch it the first time, you got me, your gearhead, Mr. Logic.
I hate to do a live adjustment.
Right.
Don't say it, fucking bitch. Or don't fucking say it, you son of a bitch. You son of a bitch. Yeah, I know I look different.
You guys.
Usually tradition, we always start off with Nate, but being that Ben has that dramatic change to his image, can we get the cameras on him?
Yeah.
Tell us about your day and what led up to you actually changing your look.
And take off your headphones so they can get a good look.
Nice good propaganda. That's the lack of hair that I have. So yeah, I had dreads. So you can see the vlogs. I had
Dreads or locks? Stop saying dreads. Dreads is racist.
I'm a racist. So
You mean incorrect?
No.
Because
dreads is actually a racial. So
Really?
sorry to cut you off.
No, wait.
So on the island, they're called locks, but they got the name dread because the white people would be like the dread. So dreadlocks.
Yes.
So the proper way to address it is by locks.
Oh, stop.
Hey man,
Deja's like, you look
gotta
handsome.
educate. There you go.
So yeah, they weren't looking too right, and also they were just the wrong like size. I guess I would
Yeah,
say.
show them the fade.
Yeah, you know.
Deja loves the fade.
I mean,
Looking like a mushroom top, man.
exactly, looking like a dighead. So yeah, I decided that I made the executive decision to cut my hair, and actually, my mom loved it. She was jumping up and down, singing.
For real?
Literally, she was literally singing. She was like, "Look at Ben, look at Ben," but in Creole. But that's essentially what she was saying. She was like, "You look like my son again." What she was saying.
goodness.
Literally.
Benny Squat.
And I looked there and I told her, you know, I'm gonna grow it back out. Right? So let's not get too excited.
Just enjoy it.
Exactly. And you know what? I'm gonna do my dad a favor because Sunday is Father's Day, and my dad's a pastor. And the last time I went to church, I had like, I have piercings now, but like
You're gonna go to church with your dad?
Yeah, I had piercings, and I had dreads. I'm gonna go there with my hair cut, and then people will be like, "Hey, yo, this man's looking professional, business, bien cher." You know what I'm saying? That's how that's gonna look.
C'est bon. C'est bon.
Déjà connais.
You know? Exactement. Chérie, I want to break your body like a croissant. The friction and the fire and desire. And then get into your bosoms. Got the figured. Hey, I didn't do all that. He lost me with the
he was literally doing it. That's why I was doing what I was doing. Whatever.
Oh my God.
We literally have video evidence of Jay doing it. So doing it to me. You know what I'm saying?
When did you wake up from that fucked up dream?
I'm still dreaming.
Oh boy, listen, boy, you ambient is still dreaming. So how was your day?
Is ambient even the thing? It was all right. I didn't do anything. I actually did not do anything all day.
Nice.
This week?
I mean, this week. It was my girl's birthday.
Wow.
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
Happy belated Lauren from 1424. Yo, you know we love you out here.
Yeah, she's finally 18, so that's great.
Oh, it's like right now.
Okay.
Hold on.
She's lying, but I'm just telling him to say psych.
I would have kicked
internet
you out
doesn't
this
know.
room.
What do you mean?
I'm being serious. I would have kicked your ass out this room. You ain't gonna be here with no fucking minor.
But she's not a minor.
In my opinion,
Not a minor.
Shit.
Yeah, it's literally, she's finally 18.
Oh, she said it. She's in the comments. Thank you guys. It's all love, man. Hey, even Deja is like, happy birthday.
Lauren did not turn 18, you guys. This is a lie.
You
It's
know?
just satire.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so yeah, we did that. And that's pretty much it. I didn't do anything eventful. Nothing really goes on.
Yo, Deja got your back. Ben said great things about you. See, that's the ace in the boot.
No, I mean, I do though. He's not even like wingminding. I do.
Yeah, but it sometimes has to be reiterated by your boy to confirm.
You know,
good looks, homie.
You know?
Good looks.
Good looking. All right, so let's get the limelight off of me, even though it should stay on me. But
Anyways,
what's going on with you, Nat?
About me.
It's Nate.
Nate. You know the guys call me Nate Q.
Yeah.
But my day was okay. I had to work all day. Yeah. Bro, I have stories about customer interaction. Awful customer interactions.
Oh wow.
Let me tell you. It's annoying.
No, we'll get into it.
But just to sum it up in very short words, I deal with a lot of true brain cell people. And it's difficult to keep my professional patience.
What's the 2 year says? Yeah, he said that you weren't funny, not gonna lie.
You didn't say that.
No, not you.
Ben has said that.
About
his shorty.
No, that's what I meant. I mean, like, he didn't. You said that. Actually, in the last one, you said that she actually made you laugh. She's
kind of funny. You did say kind of funny. That's a win.
She's definitely getting better.
Okay.
She's definitely getting better.
But yes, Lord tests me every day. He sends me. They say, oh, God sends you like these obstacles to like his greatest soldiers. Or I forget what the saying was, but I feel like he does it to me.
God would never put you in a situation you can't handle, but you can definitely put yourself in a situation you can't handle. My week has been a little bit topsy-turvy, man. I'll let you know, man. It's been fierce. A lot of changes in the company that I work for. A lot of acknowledgement of shit that I'm now really checking and analyzing. It's been good, bro. Like, I'm very thankful to be able to wake up and whatnot. Now, it's just a pill. And as I say that, for the viewers, man, just to let you know, today we're just gonna be ourselves, yo. This is a chill session. I'm actually gonna be asking my guys some questions, and I would love for you guys to participate in the chat. Let me know what you think about some of the questions I'm about to ask. Audio. So make sure if this is your first time, yo, you hit that like button, that subscribe button. You already know what time it is, and give the proper introduction. As you know, this is one thing for sure.
Two things for certain.
Let's get into it.
So someone says the audio quality is scuffed. What do you guys think? Is the audio bad? Is it bad?
Yeah, let us know in the comments. Audio sounds good, but it goes in and out when you speak, so it's hard to hear every word you're saying.
Hold on, we'll check the connections real quick. We apologize for that.
We do.
Strange.
Everything on our end seems good, right, guys?
Yeah.
I mean, we hear everything fine on our headphones.
Yeah, true that. So as we get into it, y'all, I just want to basically, so usually we do Am I the Asshole Reddit. This one's gonna be a little bit different. Nate's gonna basically tell us the story and we're gonna give our input. Now I gotta tell you, if she sent me this story, man, this story was wild, bro. It was definitely wild. It really had me on some
on your toes.
Yeah, if you think your life is fucked up,
dude, let me tell you,
it's some shit. So without further ado, all right, mama, break it in.
I guess check the levels.
And
yes,
start
guys,
off this story.
Just let us know if the audio is getting better or worse.
Right. Yeah, just let us know if the audio is getting better or worse, so we can continue looking into it, you guys. Thank you very much.
Of course.
Of course.
You guys mean a lot to us.
So tell us what this story is, love, and break it down for us.
Okay, so it doesn't really have much of a title. It's just more so of like the thread was tell us your crazy stories.
Your craziest interaction stories, etc.
Your craziest interaction stories. And this one says,
check this out, Ben. You're gonna want to hear this.
Dude.
No, I'm just making sure with the audio.
It says, you want crazy? Because I've got crazy. This happened a long time ago, back in my mid-20s. I knew a guy, a kind of a casual friend who was 21 and who had a girlfriend who was 17, still in high school. They had been together for about 2 years. We'll call him Steve because his name is Steve.
Ironic.
I know.
Wow.
She lived with her mom, dad, and her brother, who was about 2 years older than her and entering college. I'd met them and hung over at their house a few times.
Sorry, pause. Let me get this straight. Her parents are 2 years older than her?
No, her brother. So the person telling the story is now like an older gentleman. He's grown, but he's telling the story about when he was in his 20s.
Okay, my apologies.
Yeah, and he's telling the story about a friend. That's the crazy story about.
Okay.
So the girl, the girlfriend, she lives with her family, mom, dad, brother, and the brother was 2 years older than her. So he was like 19 and he was like entering college. I'd met them and hung over at their house a few times, so I kind of knew them, and they were really nice people. So Steve used to be at her house almost every night. His girlfriend and her parents would hang downstairs and watch TV for the evening, and then the folks would go upstairs to bed. Steve and his girlfriend would hang out a while longer and usually have sex in the bathroom or in the living room floor. Normal stuff, really.
Ooh, freaky.
Now, her dad was a transportation coordinator for a large company, so he spent a lot of time on the road. When he was home from the road, he didn't go to the office too much. He usually worked from home. Sometimes Steve's girlfriend would be too tired and go to bed shortly after her mom and her dad would be working on his computer at a little desk in the dining room, and Steve would hang out on the couch watching TV. Okay, off to the races. Steve was into computers, so he and the dad would look at new games and stuff on whatever latest and greatest machine work had given him. One night, Steve's down on the floor plugging something on into the power strip, and when he comes up on his knees, he can tell that his girlfriend's dad had a massive hard-on. The dad pulls his sweats down and asks if he likes that. Most of us
Oh my Hold on. It got real, y'all. It just got real.
Now,
all right.
Now, most of us bail at this point, right? Nope. Steve starts sucking his dick, finishes the job, and goes home. So this becomes kind of a regular thing every month or so. He stays past his girlfriend and the mom's going to bed, and he sucks off the dad. But wait, it gets better.
This nigga's gay.
He and the girlfriend eventually move in together. One night, he's dropping something off to his girlfriend's mom, and the dad's on the road. The mom isn't just a housecoat, starts putting the moves on him, and he takes her into the downstairs bathroom, bending her over the counter and railing her. They start working this in when they can, when the husband is on the road, and he can find a way to come over without the girlfriend. Oh, we're not done, kids. Steve and his girlfriend start hitting some rough patches, so he's over at the house talking to her brother, who I really liked, and he was who I really liked, and he was a cool guy. He was a cool guy and fun to hang out with. I never really liked his sister too much. Was talking to him about what was going on with the problems in the relationship, and yep, they fucked. Now,
he fucked the brother too.
Fucked the brother too. Now, at this point, you just be going, okay, this is clearly the most fucked up family on the planet because you just know they're all fucking each other. That house has got to be the grand central station of incest. Nope. When it all finally blew up, and it did in a big way, it turned out that the only one that knew about any of the other ones was Steve, the guy who had been having sex with every member of the family.
The jump off.
I started touring pretty heavily. This is going back to the person telling me. I started touring pretty heavy right around when it blew up, so I never talked to any of them. When you live to be in your 50s, you spend a huge amount of those years in a rock band touring the world. You see some pretty crazy shit. I definitely have some stories, but damn.
That's fucking crazy.
This man right here.
That's Riz. That's Riz.
That's Riz.
Right.
That's literally Riz.
So we'll start with ladies first. Nate, what do you think about that, bro? This man literally ran through a family like a bitch on 8th Street, yo.
Dude,
like
the trauma. What I really want to know, and the story doesn't say it, is
Devon says he kept it in the family.
Dude,
yeah, he did.
Yes. Did she find out? That's what I would like to know.
I guess I think he did say it blew up in a major way. Honestly, I would ask Steve this. Who threw it back the best?
Who raised you, bro? Who threw it out the back?
Probably the dad,
bro. You wilding, cuz.
I mean, at that point, let's throw morals out the window because
it's not about morals.
No, but listen, because I think it is, because you're thinking like, oh wow, that's kind of foul. That's morals, right? Let's throw that out the window.
I'm thinking that's gay.
That's still morals. That's still morals. So let's toss all that out the window. So it's like this, right? Let's look at it ones and zeros, right? Who gave it to him the best? He fucked the whole family. So who was the best performer?
I'm not even thinking that.
I mean, okay, he only sucked off the dad, and he railed the mom.
And he also
the brother.
I mean, they just mentioned that they just had sex. The brother.
They probably fucked.
Gay sex.
Yeah. Gay butt sex. That's fine.
So I think it would be between the mom and the brother.
Yeah.
Think about it, because
Those are the only two he actually fucked.
Yeah.
I mean, he's like, bro, his girlfriend probably doesn't have it like that if he's fucking the family instead. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, no, but it's not even about that because it was one thing to like suck off the dad and let's say it was just that. Okay, he's in the closet.
Like, well, how does that?
No, listen.
Real quick. Pause.
What?
This is really some foul shit.
That's what I was
You
gonna
have to
say.
understand, this is some foul shit. I just gotta say.
How does that even happen? Like, what was the dad feeling?
I don't know.
Bro, when you do that, it literally has to be a sure shot. Like,
but that's predatorial shit. This is a grown ass man. Yeah, he's old enough. He's not even old enough to buy cigarettes. He's 20 years old. No,
he's 21.
21. It's still okay. Back to the topic. What do you think?
I mean, we're still on the topic.
I want to know what she thinks about it.
I'm gonna analyze this. This is what I'm thinking. This whole situation is fucked up. Like, you know, if you think of it in terms of like, you know, you're watching a movie and this is all fantasy. Oh my god, this is so crazy, and these people are just sex crazed. But if you really twisted dark fantasy. But if you think about it, let's start off with the dad. Predatorial shit, because he must have kept his eye on the boyfriend.
Yeah, he definitely been.
And he must have made some moves and felt out the scene. But even then, it's giving like predatory vibes because he's been watching him and he made the bold decision of coming onto him.
Just the fact that you like that, like
that is
no, but
creepy.
Bro, like, I don't think it's creepy. I honestly believe that's hot as hell. Like, let's put aside sexualities because I'm a heterosexual man, right? And I'm not saying that if
put the camera on me. I know this brother did not say this shit.
I mean, but
ain't no, y'all watching this right now. Let us know what you think. But I know for a fact, this young brother here did not just say that's hot as fuck.
Ain't no way. Do you like that?
Yeah, literally, you like that?
Ain't no way,
bro. Because like, it's like this, bro. Imagine. So let me put it in the way that makes sense for a cisgender heterosexual man such as myself. Imagine I'm just doing my thing, hanging out at my girl's place, and her mom just comes out butt naked.
We're not talking about mom. We're talking about the dad.
I mean, but I'm making the equivalent for me because if it was the dad, I'd be like, yeah, right?
I didn't want to make it clear because you said, that's hot as shit, and we're talking about the topic of the dad. You didn't say the mom, so you have to understand. I kind of got confused.
I'm like, hey, brother, you got too much dip on your chip, man. You're gonna have to back it all up for me.
Yes, Dejour. And it's shit.
No, but okay, right? So imagine she comes out butt fucking naked, and she's like, "Oh, you like that?" Right? I mean, it's like it's not like I'm saying that I would personally do it. I'm saying imagine it more like the way he describes it. It's unfolding like a fucking porno. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And we all have those fantasies.
People like yeah, right. Like, it's called talking like dirty.
You know, it's like imagine, right? Someone never imagined actually having sex with, and then you're just like, "Yo, what are you trying to fucking do?" And you're like, "Damn, I think I actually am attracted to this person," and you fuck.
I need a timeout.
No, all I'm saying is,
wow.
I could only imagine what was going through the boyfriend and the father's head because, again, like I said, that has to be a sure shot.
Yes,
you can't. Yeah. You can. That it's not like he was like, "Damn, maybe I should just take the chance." No. This had to have been built up. You know,
yeah,
not even aggressive. Built up. You know what I'm saying? Like, right? You could say the dad is wrong for doing that. Maybe he was like. Maybe he was making moves at Steve, but like Steve was reciprocating. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like personally, who knows? Shut that shit down right then and there. Because like my thing is, I'm speaking before I was in a committed relationship. I remember one of my old friends. His mom was like a dime piece. You know what I'm saying? You fucking, you know what? Great Asian woman, yeah, dude. You know what I'm saying? You know she was right, and it's like me personally, I didn't feel comfortable being around her alone. I didn't feel comfortable being alone around her, just me and her. So right, because it's hot, you would have sucked that off. No.
The chat room was like, yo.
Yes, if I was gay, sure. If I was like bi or gay or whatever, right? Because there are people like gay, bi, pan, whatever, right? Not me. Again, like I said, if I was bent over, plugging something in, then you see a hard cock in my face, I'm like, bro, what are you what are you doing right now?
You're gonna ask
would you?
Dude, that's a fight.
No, I mean,
would you? If that happened to you, would you?
How would I do that? I still put a dick in my mouth. I'm straight. Even if I'm biting, I'm
just saying.
I'm not fighting for my life, so I'm not gonna do that. Because like, I get it, Jay. For you, it'd be a fight, but for me, I'm not gonna react because like in my head, it'd be like this. Oh,
you're not a fighter. You're a lover.
It would be like to me. I'm like, oh, he thought like I was feeling him like that. Let me not overreact. Yo, bro, I'm gonna need you to put your dick away because it's not like that. And
you would literally tell me that calmly.
Yeah.
You're a better man than Jason.
I've been in the situation where I remember I was at a bar and I was with some friends and some guy came in with his homegirl or whatever, and I remember I saw his nails and they were like painted pink or whatever. You knew this guy was right.
Point.
Yeah. So I come to this like, oh dude, your nails look great because this is around the time that I was painting my nails myself, but they were painted black.
Still painted.
Right. I still painted though. So I mean, dude, your nails are great. Yada yada. And so we were talking for a bit, and then like we stopped talking. I remember going to the dance floor. I'm hanging out, and this guy walks up to me, fucking full palm my ass cheek, fucking claps my ass, full palm. He's
Hold on, wait a minute. I'm sorry to cut you off. You're telling me that a random stranger came across you,
yeah,
and sexually assaulted you, like gripping butt cheeks like a basketball,
yeah,
and you did not break that man's face.
No, and this is why. This is why. Again, because like
that to me,
I was talking to him. We were like talking, like having like conversation. It wasn't like being creepy or anything like that. We were literally just like, talking to one another. And I went back to my friends. And I remember I'm dancing on the dance floor, right? And then he comes up to me, and I thought he wanted to say something. Fucking handful of my ass, and he goes, "You know, you're fucking hot as fuck, right?" And I remember I was like. I sobered up in that moment. I went, and then I turned to him. I was like, look, man. I was like, I don't roll that way, dude. Like, I get it. Like, I get it, but like, I don't roll that way. And I could see how maybe the way that I was coming off. Like, I mean,
no. I'm gonna stop you right there. I'm gonna stop you right there. You are a better man than Jason. Let me try that right now. But if that ever happens to you again in the future, don't ever blame yourself because, like, maybe I was being too provocative. Maybe my ass was so juicy. Maybe that's why he wanted to stop it. He was in the wrong 100%. Just because it's two guys and it's.
He definitely was, but I'm not condoning what he did.
Right.
But I'm not using that as a springboard to turn around and knock him out. You know what I'm saying? It's like
no, of course.
I can relate.
Yeah, because it's like
in the sense what happened with me in Atlanta.
Because it's like
I'll tell that story after.
It's like this. Like I'm at the end of the day, I'm a guy, right? My ass doesn't mean the same to me as a heterosexual man that it would a woman, right? And that's just me saying that person. People could have different opinions, but in my mind, he grabbed my ass. It wasn't like I didn't feel like he sexually assaulted me, even though I know he just sexually assaulted me. You know?
He did. I know it feels weird, and I know there's this what's that called, the something that men can do that women can and vice versa. Double standard.
Yeah.
I know there's a double standard.
Yeah.
And I know you feel like it didn't feel like you were sexually assaulted,
but I knew that like, oh, this is not cool. Like this guy is coming on to me, and I'm not with that. So I turned to like, look, bro, like. I guess I can say I appreciate it, but I don't roll like that. So I really.
Dejour says Ben didn't feel threatened enough to retaliate violence. I don't think it's about feeling threatened, but
no, yeah, I didn't feel like I was. Yeah, I didn't feel like I was being threatened or disrespected. It was just like, yeah, this nigga, he crossed the line, but I'm not gonna let this ruin my night. I'm gonna tell him, yo, I don't roll like that, and then go back to dance. You know, and that was my thought process.
You were able to enjoy.
Yeah, because it was like this. I honestly thought it was funny that he did that. Because
I wouldn't find
in my
funny.
mind, it was like, damn, I got it like that.
You know what?
Niggas are willing to fucking assault me in the club. I look so fucking good. That's where I put myself, because if I just went like, what the fuck? I think just fuck. Hell no.
I'm not saying to react like that.
Yeah, but it's this or that, right? It's this or that. So I chose to see it as a joke.
So, like in my case, right, I had gone to Georgia. And as you know, Georgia is the capital of gay black men, like straight up.
Yeah.
So Georgia. I had gone to Georgia, and I was going to the national park where they filmed The Walking Dead and shit. And when I had went, I got stopped by the security guy, and the security guy's like, oh, you can't come in here. They're filming. And I was like, oh shit. So I was like, yeah, I'm not from here. What is there to do? And he's like, oh, yo, you got Lennox Mall. There's a couple bars. Tell you what, I get off in a couple hours if you want to go get a drink. Now, mind you, this is an individual who looks like me, like very heterosexual, like
like a straight passing. Yeah.
It took time to register to like really process. Like, holy shit, this dude's
coming on to me.
Like, now, mind you, I didn't panic or anything, and I'm not going to be the type of person who acts outlandish. You know what I'm saying? It's a compliment.
Yeah.
It's not a compliment I want, nor do I need.
Yeah. Okay,
you know what I'm saying? But what it did, it was a wake up call because it's like, yo, I'm not home. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and it really threw me on.
It's different out here.
Yeah, it's different out here because usually when you find individuals like that, you would think they're very flamboyant and whatnot. This dude looked like G.I. Joe. And he was like, dude had his phone out. He's like, yeah, first round on me. I'm like, so I politely had to, decline. I was like, nah, I appreciate you. The reason why I find it surprising with you.
Oh, he did apologize, by the way.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. And this is where I think we're very different. And some may not agree with me. But the moment you hands on whether it's sexual or not, it's off GP. I'm going to react and I'm going to be explosive.
Yeah,
because you're too fast. You know what I'm saying? There was another incident where my boy was doing a beat contest, and like at those retro places at the club. This is at the Vagabond in Miami. And they had like Mario Kart hooked up to the big projector and shit. And your boy is old school. And I see these two flamers come in.
Flamers. It says Deja saying the audio is getting worse. On a scale of 1 to 10, chat, what is the audio like?
Yeah, let us know.
Let us know. We can fix it. So he's like, yo, can I pick up sticks? I'm like, yeah, cool. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, I don't have a problem with gay people. I don't.
Yeah.
But it's the freshness, whether you're straight or gay. I don't like fresh people. I'm whipping him. I'm playing as Yoshi, and as I'm winning, he's like, fuck me in my ass. Fuck me in my ass. And I'm just like, I'm looking at this dude like, yo, what the fuck is this thing on?
Yeah.
So finally, obviously, I win. And he's like, now you got to fuck me in my ass.
Oh.
So I had to think very carefully because I'm like, okay, my boy's here at a competition. If I react, we're all getting kicked out. And I can start some shit because my boys don't play that shit. This could turn into a brawl. So I take the control I put down. And he's like, I'm just kidding. I'm like, yo, my man, it is. I'm good off that.
Yeah.
So I bow down gracefully. I put down, he follows me.
He follows
me. This is years ago. This is at the Vagabond. So I'm like, yo, what the fuck? And he puts his hand on my shoulder and I turn around.
Check the connection on your.
I put on the,
Because it says your mic is cutting out.
Yeah, they say it's your mic.
Can you hear me now? All right, we're checking sound quality. So he turns me around and he's like, yo, let me just buy you a drink. I'm sorry. I was like, yo, my man, I'm good. He's still continuously being. So I had to, show my face.
Yeah.
Where it's like, yo, my man, I'm going to tell you this one time and one time only. I'm good. Do we have a fucking problem? So this is where I have to be, and this goes for women and male. When you move too quick and you fresh like that, understand you playing with your life.
Yeah.
You have individuals like Ben who will be understanding. Then you have individuals like me where it's the face. Yo, I'll bounce your head on the concrete. Not because you're gay, it's because you decided to take initiative and to basically target me.
Yeah.
And
make you feel uncomfortable.
And I made it very clear, and you still persisted.
It's one thing for persistence.
That's where it is. So I do give you respect in the sense that you didn't get violent. I don't know how you did it, but me speaking, personally, I can honestly, and it's scary because yeah, I'll get violent. I don't want to be charged with a hate crime. Yeah. And I think that's why a lot of individuals kind of ease back and walk away. Can you imagine? You could basically be in the courtroom like, yo, he got fresh, I heard him. And then there's gonna be like, oh no, it's just a hate crime.
So I'm gonna keep it G. Modern men are gay as fuck. You know what I'm saying?
Excuse me?
Like
you're gonna have to break that down.
Like heterosexual modern men, like we're pretty gay when you're with your homies, you know what I'm saying? I think
hold on, disclaimer. He's speaking for himself.
I said modern men.
Modern men.
So this is like capping around like 25 and below, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and
everyone 25 and above.
Yeah, woo. Yeah. No, but the reason why I said is because like when you're with your homies, I guess in certain circles, when you're with your homies, you be saying some like suspect shit to one another. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like shits and giggles.
Yeah, like shit for shits and giggles. So like, I guess because I'm so used, I guess I would say because I'm so used to the gay shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't necessarily have a problem with it, and because the issue I'd say with the issue I'd say is reacting in a way to it that could be seen as hostile, right? In Jay's case, he was retaliating to persistence, right? But there are some instances where you would say something to someone and be like, "Nah, man, no, that ain't me," right? Where people could say that's homophobic, and I'm not homophobic, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I understand what you mean.
Like, because I'm not homophobic, and I say suspect shit, like I'm gonna put it on the line, like that wouldn't have been the first time that a man has grabbed my ass. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Wait
a minute.
That would be the first time. Boy, however,
look here.
Can I finish though? Can I finish? Are you judging me right now, bro?
Yes, because he's judging you. Bro, this nigga. I know you for a good minute, and this is the first time I'm hearing this, so it's kind of throwing me off, dude. Okay, I gotta be honest.
Non-sexually, okay? Because because.
A man, so you're saying a man non-sexually grabbed your ass?
Yeah.
Okay. Like sports? Was he playing a basketball game? Like, didn't they give you he literally grabbed and gripped?
No, not like that. No, not the way that this guy grabbed it. Like jokingly grabbed at it is I would say is
your generation's different from mine.
It wouldn't be the first time that a man's hand was hovering around my butt. Is I guess would be the better way to say it. But this instance. This was the first time that I was approached in this manner, right? The first time ever, I didn't know what to do. And so I took the approach of, I get it. He thinks I'm into him. Let me let this guy down softly. And so I told him, like, this, he apologized profusely. When he found out that I was straight, he was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." I thought, and I was like, no, like, you're good, bro. I get it, bro. But, like, I'm going to need you. That was it.
I'm glad that he apologized, but like I just found it so weird. He would be okay to just
even do that at all.
Even do that at all. Like
even do that at all.
Even if you were gay, people still have boundaries. Enjoy their personal space. It's just you're a better person.
No, yeah, and in that instance, I think in that instance, I truly understood the plight of women and why a lot of them are afraid to like be out. Right? They're afraid of being attacked because I'm a man, right? I am a grown fucking man.
Jason's face says otherwise.
I'll be real with you. I look at you.
I mean, that's fine. That's fine.
I look at you. There's disrespect.
I'm gonna still be me because again, me and Jay come from different eras, right? I mean, yeah, we come from different eras, so it's different. You know what I'm saying? The point is, I truly understand why women are afraid to do things because if
I make it clear. So I get you in that sense. And I'm proud of this. When we used to have those all Asian clubs and shit. And I remember I grabbed some girl's ass because it was fat, bro. Yeah. When I grabbed her ass, she turned around, and I felt like a dirtbag because she's like, I can't believe you did that.
She said, like, call me to you?
Yeah. And I was like,
I'm sorry. What?
Like, we're 16. This is all Ages Club. And when she said that, I was like, damn, you know, like I
felt
really,
that.
yeah, I felt that because I was like, you know what?
A calm reaction is always worse.
Yeah, you know, I gave her some of my liquor that I had snuck in as an apology, and you know, we were cool throughout the night. But I had a taste of my own medicine, and allow me to explain.
Man.
You know, I was at Oxygen, which was a club in Grove back in the day, and I'm walking in. Shorty was zoning me, and she literally gripped my ass and smacked it and gripped it. And I truly felt fucking violated. It doesn't matter if it's
male or female.
It just like, yo, I had an understanding like, yo, this is how women feel. It was a reality check for me. You know what I'm saying? Now, as far as your case, no disrespect, I can't digest that.
No, that's fine. I'm not expecting you to. I'm just telling you my experience. I totally agree. It do be what it do be, Devon. You know what I'm saying? I don't roll that way, but that it doesn't bother me in the same way that I guess it would for people of your generation.
Well, yeah, I understand. Because I ain't gonna cap. You be saying sometimes some out of pocket shit.
Yes, I do.
So when you say out of pocket shit, it's like you manifest what you say and what you bring up the topic. So for you to do that, dog, it's like, yo, that might be the man upstairs warning you better stop fucking around and finding out. Because one dude grabbed your ass this time, the next he's gonna grab you by the neck and press your face into the wall.
I mean, that's when we fight, though. I mean, that's different. Yeah.
Are you? Because I'm surprised you didn't fight when it happened. That's what I'm saying.
Again, with the butt grabbing thing, I was like, I'm going to enjoy my night instead. Now, if I'm out at a club, I already don't like clubbing anymore. That's not my thing.
I would go home.
Yeah, if I'm out at the club and somebody decides they want to press me up against the wall, that means they see me as someone to dominate. I don't roll like that. I'm going to fuck someone up.
That said he's not a bottom. Period.
Exactly. They think I got some honey in my teeth.
So... sugar in your tank.
Yeah.
So that being said, to go back so we don't go off topic, to get back to the story, I know we go on a tandem, but say what you were going to say, though.
Look, let me tell you. I'm glad that your guys' interactions, they were able to realize, either apologize or be like, or stop. Because let me tell you how uncomfortable it is for a man to, like, you know, how it's like, like, you know, feel up, be like, let me see how she feels if I do this.
Yeah.
And then after I say no, and he still keeps doing it.
Dude, honestly, then at that point,
that is the most uncomfortable thing.
Literally, weapons free at that point. Dude, honestly,
16-year-old me, non-confrontational. I'm like, how the fuck do I say no to this guy?
No,
easy. No, you can say it in 7 languages. I'll be real with you. I think it's different for women. But to go back to the story at hand, bro, this is a family that's obviously sick. And I don't care what anybody says. That's a sick family, because the truth of the matter is, can you imagine? And that's
right, I forgot.
And you know, we be going on tangent. This I guess, like, can you imagine the psychological damage that this would cause on the girlfriend if she's not aware? Because not only the girlfriend, the guy is the biggest,
the wife, the husband,
the son.
I don't even factor them in, because they're all jacked up in the head, because it's all like, number one, this is your sister's man. You know what I'm saying? And yo, whatever you want to do with your life is your life, but there's rules and guidelines. You preyed on this individual. And the reason I say you preyed on this individual, you put him in a vulnerable position in the sense, like, you're gonna come behind him with a rock solid donkey, and you're like that. And then the mom basically robe, basically playing with the issue. The same thing with the brother. This is where.
But let me tell you, because sorry for cutting off, but like, the brother could be, you know, argue that he was having like a game moment, like, oh, he's in the closet and one thing led to another. Still fucked up. The mom, me being me, they're cheating on each other.
If my girl's mother ever came at me like that, I'd probably break up with my girl and just disappear. Because I wouldn't be. You're
not trying to cause friction within the family.
How would you be able to? And I wouldn't even tell her why I'm breaking up with her. I'd give her some bullshit reason. Because how would you explain that your mom tried to fuck me to your girl?
Dude, but I think, like, you should say something, because what happens, like, okay, you guys break up and she finds another boyfriend in the future, and it happens again.
Not my problem.
Like,
Not my problem.
All right, so
washing my hands clean.
It's gonna happen sooner or later.
Sorry, babe.
Final thoughts on that.
Final thoughts. The whole family's fucked up.
Yeah.
You know, the dad, little territorial. You know, even the mom. You know, even if she was seeing him as like a snack, like, oh, you know, he's young and has a lot of, you know, high sexual prowess.
Yeah.
Like, let me get some of that. Fucked up either way. The couple were cheating on each other. Like,
Yeah.
On the daughter's boyfriend, nonetheless. Like, that is so fucked up. And then the brother, man.
You would think this shit was some shit on Hulu.
Just foul.
I just, bro, the whole thing just fucked up.
What about you, Ben? Final thoughts?
That's Riz. That's a W. That's Riz. He got the whole family under his belt, bro. Who else can say? How many people can actually say they fucked an entire family, bro? You cannot come back from that. He devastated an entire fucking clan on his own. Just who he was.
What's crazy was he was 21 dating a 17-year-old.
Huh? Oh, shit.
That was normal.
That was back in the day.
Oh, yeah, that was.
It was back in the day. So
it was like 30 plus years ago.
Yeah, so that's normal. But honestly, I mean, it's fucked. But like, again, let's put aside the morals and let's just, you know, let's see
have a my man moment.
Let's see it for what it is. He fucked the whole family. You know what I'm saying? Doesn't matter if he had gay sex with the dad and the brother. Just fuck the whole fam.
So, my final thoughts on it, man.
Go him.
That's despicable. It's shameful, and that whole fam, dirtbags, just dirtbag. It's not even about
dirty
the gayness, because even if it was straight, you still foul for that, dog.
Yeah.
And me, you know, I know you guys say I'm old school, but to me, old school is different from respect. I'm big on respect, and to me, it's like, yo, there's certain factors you don't play in. Just like you don't sleep with your boy's sister, you don't fuck with your boy's family in any type of way, dog, because what you can do, you could create a rift, and I don't respect any man who does that.
Yeah, the way
under any circumstance, like if you that type of person, dog, I got heat for you, because at the end of the day, man, in a world full of people, this is who you decide to fuck with. So that being said, the individual in this story, dog, you might want to think you're a victim. You're a true piece of shit. You're a true piece of shit. And the siblings of the family are shitty because it's all about, say the girl is normal. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
No, I'm just saying, but you destroyed her mentally.
Yeah.
But as we get into the next conversation I have a question for y'all. There's an artist that goes by Sukani or Suki, whatever. She's a very explicit artist. She's one of those hip hop artists who talks very sexual, always talking. She's on that mindset, oh, my pussy pink, my booty hole brown, like that type of mentality. So a lot of people are upset because they feel that she should have been protected in 2 cases where she was on 2 interviews. And one of the interviews, Buddy was getting at her so hard, showing her dick pics, talking about how he wants to eat her out and whatnot. And you can see Shorty is Sukiana, and you can see that Shorty is disturbed by it, right? And then in the other case, there's a dude named YK Osiris who basically came up on her, grabbed her by the neck, and tongued her down. And a lot of people are upset because they're gonna be like, "Oh, how you as a man gonna allow that to happen? How come no one checked him?"
Oh, I seen that video on Osiris. He got disowned by a lot of artists.
He got disowned, but here's where I have an issue. All right, and I asked my VP, shout out to my VP surgeon, you know, Saga the surgeons, man, surgical with the knowledge and whatnot. Mad love from, you know, your president over here. Let me ask you guys something, hypothetically, right? Say that I'm on the street with you guys and some beef comes up and I'm not willing to fight. Would you be willing to fight for me?
If you're not, why would I?
Okay.
So it's established that we know that you're not fighting for us.
No, it's not about that. Like,
imagine he's chilling. Someone comes up that wants to fight him, and he's like, "Yo, I'm not even." To fight.
Yeah.
Oh.
Would you? Yeah. And it's not because there's trauma behind it. It's just I'm not willing to defend myself. So if I'm not willing to defend myself, are you still willing to defend me? Truthfully speaking,
I would try.
So
I can't lie because I can't say I would because look at me, guys.
Yeah.
I can't go up against a big man, but I would try to like verbally like defend you.
So
like,
what do you mean? Are like is this guy wailing on you and you're just not doing anything?
Like it's a to further the situation, right? It's like us basically at Wynwood with the whole parking incident where Buddy wanted to talk out his ass, and I, called out his girl to provoke him, which I was wrong, but he provoked me to be that way. It's like if there's a situation where on the street some shit comes up, I'm not willing to defend myself.
Yeah.
Not because I'm scared or anything like that. I'm just not willing to defend myself. Would you take it upon yourself to defend me?
Oh no! If you don't want to fight, we'll just leave.
Okay. And the reason why I say that is to basically create a comparison to her.
Okay.
And that comparison is, why is it that men in the hip hop game are mad at White K Osiris and this other dude when this woman portrays a very provocative, promiscuous lifestyle?
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not saying she deserves it at all, but you reap what you sow.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna come around here talking about how you like to suck dick and how you like when dudes, you like to swallow kids and do all this crazy talk, and now you have somebody who's gonna test that.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I think it's clown shit that you think it's appropriate for a man to defend her. She put herself in that situation. I'm not saying she deserves it, but she invited it. It's similar like a woman wearing revealing clothing.
Okay, I understand what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying?
If a guy were to call her out on her
basically
shit,
were to engage because she has her ass and titties out, you invite that. And I think as adults, you have to basically own that.
Yeah,
it's
actions
like
have consequences.
like if I'm wearing a hoodie in a dominantly white neighborhood, we all know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There's really no sympathy for me. I just find it hypocritical that people are upset because they're like, oh, no man defended this black woman. Well, this black woman is trash.
Well, let me say something. Look, let me say something.
This black woman's fucking trash, nigga.
I understand what you're saying and where you're coming from. You know, actions do have consequences. But in terms of like, she is putting her business out. If she's the one who's saying that she likes to suck dick and her booty hole's brown and her pussy's pink and all that stuff, she is saying it. She is allowing herself to be this way. But that doesn't give other people the right to make her feel uncomfortable.
I'm not saying it gives them the right.
She is saying these things and portraying herself this way under her terms because she wants to. And it is a really weird situation because like it could be argued both ways. She is very revealing, which then invites other people to test it.
Shit.
Which then invites people to test it.
Mm-hmm.
I understand
she
that.
asked for it.
Hold up. Let me finish talking. But it could also be argued that she is allowing herself to be this way because she wants to, because nobody is stopping her. She can do whatever she wants. But if people start testing that and she, whether she defends herself or not, or somebody else defends her, like she has the right to defend herself and say 100%, hey, I don't like the way you guys are treating me. I don't like the way that you guys are talking about this way, objectifying me and this and that. She has that right. Don't be surprised if a woman wears revealing clothing and then when you try to test her and be like, yo, shorty, what's good? Like, she's like, don't talk to me. I'm not interested in you. Don't be surprised. She's not dressing that way for you and she's not acting this way for you. I understand.
Let me take that.
What?
So the reason why, okay, you made a very valid point.
It could go both ways.
But when you say it could go both ways, this is where I want to cut deep into the topic because we'll use modern women as an example, right? If you out here wearing shit exposing your nipples, you invite those problems whether you like it or not. You get what I'm saying?
And when those problems come in,
but you have to own it.
You are allowed to defend yourself. You're not wrong. But you can't. But you can't be shocked if it were to happen. I'm not condoning it. But it's like this, bro. And that shit that you said about not dressing for other people,
Dejor says now she didn't even really do anything to stop him. She didn't push him away. All she said was move her head from him. Should have made it more obvious than she did.
Now, I didn't watch the video. Yeah. I will admit I didn't watch it. I'm only speaking in general terms, in most situations. I am putting myself in this situation as well. Like if it were happened to me, obviously I would defend myself. Not that I would put myself in that situation because I wouldn't wear such revealing clothing like that. It's just not my style. I will admit I didn't watch the video. I'm just speaking in general terms.
Yeah.
I do understand what you guys are saying, and I do agree to some of it. I'm not saying that it's like, she shouldn't be surprised, because of like the backlash.
Well, it's not backlash
that's
on
not
her,
what I'm saying at all. Or not backlash.
It's backlash on the individuals.
Right.
Like, okay, so with the whole segment where Dude showed her the dick pic, I could see where the men in that room were wrong because she made it very clear she wasn't interested and she wasn't feeling it. At that point, it's like, yo, if I'm chilling with you, right? We outside, say we, in Wynwood and whatnot, and some nigga rolls up on you, starts touching up on you, and you don't show any resistance, like you go with the flow, my response is like, well, it is what it is. Now, mind you, if you push that man off and like, yo, back off, yeah, then it's time to start cracking some skulls.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I think this is where the hypocrisy comes when it comes to a lot of women.
I'm sorry, I just saw the video.
This is where it comes into the problem because in modern society, we're always bailing these women out from responsibility. And when we're bailing them out from responsibility, it's like that lack of accountability does more damage than anything because they're not basically holding themselves accountable. It's like, you got to own that shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like you getting mad at me because.
Wait, hold on, we're watching the video.
Hold on.
Put the video on the screen?
Yeah.
Okay.
So no audio, but this is him. This is him just like walking up to her. He's like talking some shit. I don't know what she's saying.
Nah, but they'll see.
Oh, there he goes.
Yeah, he's grabbing her. He's trying to cheek. And
no, I can watch. Fast forward it. Fast forward it.
Let me see. There we go. There we go.
You see what he's doing right there?
Oh my god!
She didn't slap him. She didn't do nothing. Okay, again, that's not cool though.
Okay.
That's not okay.
But if I may continue, right? So you've seen the video now.
Okay.
So allow me to analyze it. You, as a woman, have a voice. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying because of the way she carries herself, she deserves it. That's not what I'm saying at all.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to own the fact that you, as an adult, are inviting those type of situations to come to you when you hold your weight in that manner. If I basically portray my life as a thug and I portray myself, Major says, I'll never understand it that a woman says they dress for themselves. That's just the stupidest shit ever. So,
no. I'm gonna reply to that.
That's not to say women don't dress for themselves, but when you show your tits and wear no panties and wear skirts, dresses that reveal those things, it's not dressing for yourself. You want attention, hands down, no question.
No. I'm gonna because you go on a rant.
Yeah.
And you talk a lot, so I'm just gonna reply to this real quick. When a woman says, a specific woman, I don't mean in general, I'm talking about specifically one woman. If she were to ever say, I dress for myself, I don't dress for you, you better believe that specific woman dresses for herself and she doesn't.
Let her finish.
This is not to say all women feel that they dress for themselves and not for other people. Because I will admit there are some times, like, in my single phase, if I would go out with like my friends to a club, I would, like I said, it's never my style to be so provocative, but I would be extra cute and I would, show off, some of my great features to attract other people, but to a certain extent. That's me personally. And some girls would do that because, it's no surprise that we like some attention with of like the right people. Unfortunately, whether we dress a certain way or not, sometimes there are, sleazeballs who give us, unwanted attention. That's another point. If a specific girl says, I dress for myself, not for you, believe her, that's how she feels. That's not how all women are. Some that may not be true for all women.
I just want to say this one thing. Literally, what you were describing just proved the point of what Deja was saying, and I'm going to say that honestly. It really did. And at the same time, when you say that if one specific girl says that, because you're not wrong, there are women I will say few and far between that mean it when they say that.
Yeah.
How many specific women actually mean it when they say that? You know what I'm saying?
If I could rebuttal you on this.
It's really hard to say because, at this point it's a case by case.
Okay. So, and this is not to, come at you sideways. I'm listening to what you said. Some women want to just dress because they want to feel sexy, whatever. It's not necessarily for you, it's for themselves.
Well,
right?
who decides what sexy is?
But what I'm saying is, realistically speaking, what I'm saying is, take it as a man, right? If I decide to wear the wrong color in the neighborhood, right? I'm intentionally inviting problems to come towards me. And the problems that I'm inviting to come towards me is like me saying, well, I only dress this way because, I wanted to represent for myself.
Yeah.
But I knew what potentially can go wrong. You, as an adult, have to own that. And that's where I have a problem with modern women in the sense of you guys do that shit, but you're not willing to own the end result.
Yeah.
It's like if you fuck around and find out, you can't be mad that you found out because this is an individual who's promiscuous, provocative, and basically represents herself in that manner. So, mind you, especially in that culture and in that hip hop group, that's what you do. You know what type of men you're dealing with. You weren't born at night last night, but you were born. Yeah. You have that knowledge. You're not stupid. Right. And this is where a lot of men feel a certain type of way towards women who have the mindset, well, I dress to feel pretty for myself. That is complete, utter bullshit. And the reason it's complete, utter bullshit, no disrespect, you even said it yourself, because you like the attention.
Yeah, some women.
Yeah, but if you're going for attention and you get it, you can't be mad about it because you can't specify it.
You can't specify
you set yourself up for that. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, you got a man. If you want to dress clothes, you willing to put his life on the line? And this is where I have to be real, and you can call me misogynistic or whatever the fuck you want. Women forget how brutal the fucking world can be. We know other men. We know how foul we can be. Maybe you may not understand that, but I could look you dead in the face and tell you, I know niggas, if they see you dressed a certain way, you don't get to say no. They don't give a fuck. They will go that extra length, and they will do what they want to do. Y'all have to understand that shit. That's why I always say to my homegirls, watch how you dress. Watch how you represent yourself. Because if you don't respect yourself, I don't gotta fucking respect you.
I hear you.
You know what I'm saying?
Let me say something.
If I may finish real quick, I'll let you get to it. Muhammad Ali said it best. His daughter was basically gonna go out and she was wearing civilian clothes. And he basically checked her in the most responsible way ever. He asked his daughter, where do you find treasure? Very deep. Where do you find pearls? Deep in the ocean. Where do you find gold? Deep into the earth. Meaning, you guys say you guys are the prize all the fucking time. But if the prize is easily handed out to the next nigga, how am I supposed to respect what you have to offer me when you don't respect it yourself? Explain that one.
Oh my God, Dejor said no, not we know because you go on rants. But two things. This is what Dejor said right here. She likes to specifically show her breasts and her exact state. I want to show them off to the world. Why should I show them? You are right. I wasn't trying to contradict everything that you were saying because, like you and what Jason were saying, there is truth to it.
No, but you're not wrong though. Women
right.
shouldn't have to feel afraid for dressing how they want.
They shouldn't. And something that I do want to address to what Jason said, like to the men who see women dress a certain way and they think that you don't get to say no because you're dressed like that, so you ask for it. Okay, I understand that actions have consequences. I get it. Women dress super provocatively, and I mean like really provocative. And to some men, they're like, "Oh, she's asking for it. Like, look at the way that she's dressed. She should have dressed more modest." You know, she shouldn't be surprised. Don't be shocked when I try to hit her up because look at the way she's dressed. Why wouldn't I hit her up? Like, she's a dime. Okay, I get that. That's reasonable to think. But if you think it's reasonable to put your hands on her forcefully and be like, you asked for it. You're dressed like that. Why wouldn't I? Why should I stop? You know what? A big fuck you to all the men that Jason was talking about. I don't give a fuck that your mentality is like that you think that it's right just because she's dressed like that. I don't give a fuck. If she wants a certain kind of attention, and let me give you a big reality check, you guys, all the men that Jason was talking about, that is not you. In a million years, it will never be you. You want to know why? Because you ain't shit. Yep. That's what I would like to say.
Dejour he also said that there's things that happen to women who don't dress provocatively either.
Exactly. Yeah. That's absolutely the truth. Even to the women who don't dress like that at all, who aren't asking for, who are, oh, what was she wearing? It's not the fact that what she was wearing. Like, let's say she was very modest and very covered up. Men still do that. So it's no excuse. There should be no excuses. Yeah, shitty men specifically, because obviously I know all men are not like that. I know. But there should be no excuse to men who violate women, who essay women.
Yeah. It's not saying it's an excuse, but it is saying
this is a case.
It's just a reality.
But the reality is you invite that
more often than not.
There's a difference between inviting and then actually doing something, because it should stop at, okay, she's dressed provocative, causes invitation. Men come in, they try something, they're like, oh, you know, what's up? You know, let's say she says no. Okay.
Listen how it's at should instead of what is, right? And you know, I will say this. I feel so bad for women who, no matter what they wear, their goodies are just out. You know what I'm saying? Like the women that, like, even if they're wearing something modest, they still have fucking
yes, you are right. Because some women have, you know, big breasts and a nice figure, a big butt, and they can't help it. Like, it's the sucks. No matter how hard you try to be very modest, if you have a certain figure that is revealing, it will reveal through your clothes.
Yeah,
and that's very
literally no matter what you wear, and that shit fucking sucks. Me personally, like.
All right, so final thoughts. What are your final thoughts?
What were we talking about?
Final thoughts, Nate.
I understand your points of view. You know, we can all agree that actions have consequences. You know, don't be a shitty person. Respect people's no's, whether you're a man or a woman or anyone in between.
Yep.
That person says no.
No means no, unless you guys talked about how no doesn't mean no. But that's a whole other thing.
Okay. Dejour says, so the more modest a woman is dressed, the less attention negatively speaking is brought upon her.
Oh, thank you, Dejour. Sukihana, we were talking about. I mean, it was fucked up what happened to her. It definitely was. But I'll say this, right? You were, as Jay was saying, you were presenting yourself as this kind of person. And unfortunately, it doesn't matter at what level you are. There are people that just don't have inhibitors. They're just unhinged in ways that you can't foresee, you know? So unfortunately what happened is that she fucked around and then found out, right? She met the wrong nigga. She met the nigga that thought that he had it like that he could do that and get away with it, you know? And you're going to find plenty of people like that in this world. And it's just an unfortunate truth if you present yourself a certain way. And people can say on the other side, oh, even the people, there are people out there that don't do any of that, and that shit still happens to them. But I can promise you that it's least likely to happen to that person than it would be someone that presents themselves as like a sex symbol icon of that. It's still fucked up all across the board. I'm just speaking in reality, in truths, right? It's more likely to happen if you, man or woman, right? Because I feel like there are plenty of men that don't like being sexualized. I know I don't like being looked at like I'm a slab of meat. Because I mean, even though you know I am, but I don't like it. You know, I want to give you permission to look at me like that. If not, then don't do it.
The only person who can look at me like a slab of meat is my man.
Exactly, my girl. Exactly.
Yeah, our partners, our partner.
Exactly.
So my final thoughts on it, bro. Again, I come from a different era.
Yeah.
And I understand that. And as I come from a different era, I could honestly, truthfully speaking, say that saying just for the job you want, not the job you have, right? The same thing follows suit when you decide to step out, whether it's to the club, whether it's to a meet and greet, whether it's to a party. The content of your character is what's going to shape your reality. And if the content of your character is questionable because you want to be promiscuous and very sexualized, then you got to be willing to own it. There's no mercy for you. I don't feel bad for her. I don't. Because the truth of the matter is, a lot of times we know the dangers of taking some types of choices in life. And if you know the danger, especially as an adult, you got to own that. And you can't take that back. So that being said, I'm going to basically ask you guys a question. And I truthfully want to basically get your input. This is on some Mount Walsh. We'll start off with we'll start with you, Nate. What is your definition of a man? Not a boy, but a man. What is your definition of a man, and what do you think makes a man?
Okay. I feel like let me qualities that a man should have that a boy does not, because he is not yet fully coming of age. This is the way that my brain works, you guys. So I I think that a real man. The thing is that this could be said for a real person.
Mhm.
You know, a real person who is truly, respectful, respects boundaries, emotionally mature. This could be said for both, man and woman. For specifically men, that targets towards men would be like chivalrous qualities. Some traditional men, for example, they hold the role of the man. They want to be the providers, the protectors. They want to care for their female counterparts, make them feel loved. Some things that boys or emotionally immature people can't yet fully do because they haven't had the right experience or haven't fully emotionally matured to understand that some people aren't screaming at you. They're not screaming at you, but they're screaming with you, like they're venting. And I feel like some, real men, real people can truly understand their partner's difficulties, help guide them through it.
Mhm. And what do you think of what makes a real man? What is a man?
So, I mean, me personally, okay, because I'm on two sides of what that means, right? Because I do believe in being able to be yourself no matter what. As long as you're not fucking with anybody, you should be able to be yourself. I would say it like this: the idea of being a man, yeah, or what someone would consider being a man is archaic nowadays, and it can be applied to man or woman, right? Because then, as Nat was saying, it just comes down to being an honorable person, right? Someone being able to take accountability and stand up for yourself when necessary, as well as doing the things you need to do in order to get shit done. You know what I'm saying? And then, but on the because like this is the modern era, the idea of falling into traditional gender roles is no longer necessary because we don't have to depend necessarily on each other for survival in that way, right? You don't. I don't think
That's
that
how you feel. That's what you know.
I don't think that it should be that way, but it is that way because when it just comes down to simple biology. You know what I'm saying? So like, it's not like there are some qualities that are the same around most men that we just straight up cannot help. That just it happens more in men than women, and that's what we attribute stereotypes for a reason because they happen enough to where it becomes a pattern, right? So being competitive, wanting to naturally take care of women, wanting to be the person that like takes care of things, problem solver. You know what I'm saying? These are the attributes of a man, right? In regards to like traditionally speaking, being the breadwinner, or like you have when you have a wife, you covet them and you cherish them as your those kind of things, right? That's traditionally speaking. In the modern era, I believe that one shouldn't force themselves to be confined in such a way, But the reason why it existed in the first place is because it's what keeps society afloat, right? If we just started breaking down, if we start deconstructing these things and then deciding that they no longer are necessary, then things are going to happen outside of our control that wouldn't have happened if we stayed within these proverbial lines, right? So what?
There was this like interview that I had come across, I was on TikTok and they were saying that the modern like boss woman, um, when the boss woman era was coming up and everyone was like, oh, be a boss woman, you're independent, you can pay for your own things, do your own things for yourself, like you are your own woman. And it was all good and dandy for a while, but then it went to show that boss women's are like lonely, I guess, or very it's not all that it's cut out to be because like you were saying, in the more traditional sense, everyone had like their traditional roles, the men's were the breadwinners and the caretakers, protectors. I mean, now women, boss women can do that for their own. So what does that mean for partners if they have one?
Exactly. The game is fucked up because they've convinced women that doing what comes to them naturally is wrong, right? That is how, if you can convince people that what comes naturally is wrong, that's when you win. And that's what's happening. And because of that, we haven't evolved to the point where what we were supposed to be doing naturally were, and I know this is gonna sound fucked up, where men are the breadwinners and women are the homemakers. That literally comes naturally to humans, man and woman. We haven't evolved past that. We still need that to upkeep society. You know what I'm saying? Because what's been going on recently is that they're destroying the nuclear family, and you see all these videos. Society is fucking crumbling. Kids don't respect their elders, and that's another Pandora's box because there are old people who are entitled and they don't deserve respect. The point is, kids don't respect their elders. They don't respect each other, right? Kids are fucking. They're robbing. They're stealing. They're fighting, and all this crazy fucking shit. You're seeing it more and more because there aren't parents at home to police their fucking kids. What do I think about Ted Kaczynski's death?
Well, if I may,
Yeah.
target. I hear what you guys said. So I ask you, what do you think a man is? If I may share my opinion on this, I think a man, what makes a man, what is a man, is not so much being the breadwinner and whatnot. I think it's the position that life has played for us. The reason why I say it's the position that life has played for us, we are built different. We process things different. What makes a man, in my opinion, I may be wrong, I may be right. That topic is up for you to decide. But what makes a man is literally an individual who understands his position to play, who basically inherits that and basically takes that in stride, doesn't take it personal, accepts the way that life conditioned them. And I feel like the issue with y'all generation is what you guys are calling traditional, and I don't say this in a disrespectful manner, it's just, to me, that's not relevant. Because when you talk about boss babes taking care of themselves and doing what that's called being an adult. That's number one. That's called being adults. When I hear women, I pay my own bills and you take care of yourself because you're an adult.
Congrats.
But what makes a man ideal and what truly solidifies that is how he carries himself. And one of the biggest things I can say for a lot of men out here, in order for us to win, we have to take it, we have to be logical.
Yeah.
We have to process things different. And I noticed with your era, what makes it different, where a lot of dudes from my era will call someone like you soft in the sense of you don't have the grounded foundation, because when I speak about that, it's like, oh, you're just old school. No, I was just raised right. You know what I'm saying? And I don't say that in a disrespectful manner, but when I say I was raised right, I understood the title that I was given. You don't fuss about it. I don't try to change the narrative on it. And as I say that, I want to bring this into the masculinity which is under attack. Yeah. And as we get into this topic, I personally, I don't even feel, I know it is incredibly hard now to be a man because essentially your era has been programmed. You know what I'm saying? A lot of those who consider themselves men are not men because they're highly emotional. And that alone basically sends a rift between the connection between man and women. You know, ideally, you don't want a man who's emotional, but yet you want a man who's conscious of his emotions. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the attack on masculinity stems deep because I feel like the more manly you are, the more rejected you are by society. Because if you look at your era versus my era, you guys are highly unstable. You guys don't like the terms and conditions that you're given, and because you don't like the terms and conditions that you've been given, it highly makes you irrational and to make decisions and to act a certain manner. You know, and I know that I'm not from your era. As you guys carry yourself, even certain things you have said is questionable because yes, the world is different, things is different, but the job is still the same.
Yeah.
The end goal is still the same. So when you talk about masculinity being under attack, my question to you guys on that one is, what do you think needs to happen? And do you even think masculinity is under attack? So we'll start with you, Nate. Do you feel masculinity is under attack when it comes to men? And if not, why? And if yes, why? Please explain.
Do I feel like masculinity is being attacked?
Yeah.
I feel like in some ways there has been some attacks on how some men are like acting on their masculinity.
Okay.
Like and I think this goes back to what you were saying, like traditional men and the more modern men. It's kind of like an argument, like a back and forth of a difference of opinion.
Okay.
And I feel like it's more, I believe it's more men arguing like amongst each other. And when it comes to women, all women really want is, women have their own personal preferences and what they want in a partner. So, but it all really comes down to someone who can love them, respect them, listen to them, be there with them. Not only be their best friend, but be their lovers and communicate. Truly be a life partner.
So what you're saying is you think what the problem with masculinity is what you want, but that's not what's being expressed. Because if a man opens up and he's emotional, it's shut down or used against him. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Do you think in that case when a man tries to, be emotional and he gets shut down, do you think it's more men doing it on men or everyone?
I think everyone does it to men. What I think is happening is there's a shift. Paradigm is shifting in regards to what it means to be a man, to be masculine. Because what was then considered masculine back then is now considered toxic, and it should be demonized. But at the same time, the very traits that are being demonized are what are necessary to like uphold society. And then people go like, "Oh, what about like bigotry and the sexism, racism?" I'm not talking about that. Right?
Right.
I'm talking about the stoicism. I'm talking about being able to control your emotions, being able to feel your feelings without them overtaking you.
You know what? I feel you because they mentioned in the comments, oh, you wouldn't want a man who is always complaining about work, bad when something goes wrong, unable to get past problems.
Exactly.
I understand because if you shift the point of view, it could be viewed as maybe this man who's always complaining, he's just trying to vent and trying to get things off his chest, but then shift back to, oh, this is not a real man. Get over it.
I have a question for you. Do you consider yourself a man?
Do I consider myself a man? Yes, but at the same time, no, because I don't believe that I'm there yet. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that I don't consider myself a man because, like, oh, what it means to be a man is different. No. Because I'm critical of myself, I don't consider myself to be a man because there are still things in my life that I haven't taken care of to where I would feel the confidence to say, I am, I am the definition of what a man is. You can look up to me as someone that you can emulate, right? That's my idea. A man would be someone, the definition of a real man is someone that you can emulate, right? To live the life that you want to in the best possible way. That's also helps propel society forward. You know
Wouldn't
what I'm
that
saying?
be just being an adult?
I wouldn't say it's the same thing because there are specific things that aren't. There's things that aren't related specifically to male or woman that both can do that would mean being an adult. There are things that are specific. I don't mean that they're strictly specific, but there are things that are widely known to be specific to men and women that they do in a specialized sense. That yeah, there are men that can do this, but they aren't really enough, and there are women that can do this that aren't really enough, right? And then when you break it down even further, there are things that straight up women can't do and men can't do. Men can't have kids. I know that sounds fucked up, but let me just say,
No, it doesn't.
biological men can't have kids. Biological women, cisgendered men, cisgendered women can't grab their dick and rub one out. You know what I'm saying? So, and what's happening in the modern era is that the wall between the sexes is being degraded, where it's allowing them to change the definition of these words, right? The thing with when you said that Matt Walsh, that brought up into my mind when it was like, what is a woman, right? And then you see that there are people, in power. There are people in power that if you ask them what a woman is, they will tell you whatever it is that person feels like, right? And it's like, if you're gonna change this word, then we need a new word for what it means to be a biological woman, right? Because like a woman, to be a woman is in a state of mind. To be a man is in a state of mind. It's who
your
you are.
experience.
Yeah, it's who you are.
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
That's a really good way to put it.
Yeah, you can't wake up one day. I can't wake, and I don't mean to make it sound like it's a joke. I don't want to sound insensitive, right? But it used to be, right? I remember this one episode of The Fairly Odd Parents, right? Timmy's dad, something happened to him, and he had a complete mental breakdown, and he wanted to be called Linda, right? So they were calling him Linda throughout. He put lipstick on. He called himself Linda because he felt like he lost his manhood, and as a result of that, he considered himself a woman. So he called himself Linda, right? And everyone went along with it. They said, "Okay, that's Linda." Right? That's Linda now, right?
I don't remember that episode.
And so it used to, so I guess as a kid, the way that I understand is that if someone woke up one day and some shit happened to them and that completely destroyed their sense of self and they decided they want to start identifying as something else, that means that person needs help. You know what I'm saying? And it'd be for some to say like, oh, this is my truth, this is my reality, but at the same time, you need help. Honest to goodness, if something fucking happened to you and you decide that you don't want to be you anymore, you need help. And then to reel it back to what it means to be a man, or if I consider myself a man, it's like this. I consider myself on the way to be considered what it really means to be a man. Because I guess I could say my idea of it's archaic. I would say to be a man is to be, to be a protector, right? To be steadfast in your beliefs, to be virtuous, to have discipline. And you can attribute that to women as well, right? But there are some things that men have to do. Yeah, there's some qualities and things that men have to do that women don't have to. But the women that choose to, that's all them. But there are things that fall specific to men.
Do you think that in order for a man to be his full potential, that a man truly has to go through trauma in order to become a man?
I think everyone needs to.
No, we're just focusing on
men. Yes. Okay. Yeah. To be everyone needs adversity to become the best version of themselves. If you live an easy life, right? You don't know what hardships are.
Right.
I
agree. There was this interview with a CIA agent, I think, basically stating that what makes a great agent, what kind of qualities you have to have, and they were saying that when they look for these specific people, they look for specific childhood traumas. They said that you need to have the right amount of childhood trauma where you don't develop an unhealthy coping mechanism like drugs or alcohol and stuff, but just the right amount of trauma where you are an overachiever, where you in your workplace or personal life you seek to just be better, to always better yourself every single day because you felt the need that if you're better, you do better, you are better, in that kind of sense. And so I guess that kind of goes back to what makes a man or a good, human being. Or to what Jason was saying was like the right amount of trauma can help build you. Like Ben was saying, if you don't go through hardships in your life,
I guess because Griot Guild says that you don't need trauma to be a man; you need guidance and challenges.
Okay.
So I would say this. I would say that I guess trauma is the wrong word.
Yeah.
But you need adversity, and that's the same thing as challenges. You need a reason. You need something that calls you out to your being, and either you fold or you stay true in who you are. And everybody needs that in order to become the best person. This is why iron sharpens iron.
Even
You know what I'm saying?
I will say this: what a man is always going to be an opinionated statement. It's always going to be an opinionated statement because there's a lot of dudes that I don't consider men. There's a lot of dudes I don't consider men, basically being too high into their emotions. A lot of times people will say, well, right now is the best time because we're able to express ourselves. Yeah. And I'm not saying, oh, you got to swallow that shit and, deal with it. But in my opinion, what makes a man is understanding the nature of things. Understanding sometimes in life you got to take an L in order to have a win. Mm-hmm. Being a man is a lonely process. It's an extremely lonely process. It's analyzing. And there's a big difference when it comes to women and men because men, we don't have the outlets that you have. And as I see your younger generation, it's very hard for me to even consider a lot of people out of your era as men. Not because they didn't go through trauma, because they don't have the discipline, the entitlement. We see it with celebrities now. We see it how they act and how they treat their partners. And I think it needs to basically be dissected because if not, this attack on masculinity, what ends up happening is look at all the killings that's going on. More men are highly emotional and not logical. And that's literally what's tearing down society, where a person can be like, yo, as my VP said, yo, and they calls you gay. Person from my era is like, yo, whatever, bitch, I know who I am. Where you have a whole generation of young men who don't know who they are, what they want to do, you're highly unstable. Yeah. And you resolve to a lot of fucking negativity and do fucked up manner. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So that attack on masculinity, what it leads to is chaos. It seems like me trying to be a man is me trying to be controlling over you. Or me being a man is me basically going against the grain being problematic. Yeah. So that's why I said you consider yourself a man because I don't think you honestly, it's like a switch where it's like, yo, I haven't got there yet. You either are or you ain't. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? It's not something that takes time. You either are or you ain't. You're either born with it or you're not. And as you guys speak, where I look at your era of growing up, there's a lot of questionable attributes that you guys go through that I don't feel that you guys contribute and fully understand. You get what I'm saying? So
I mean, so Dejour says, he says, I don't know, someone can say suck my dick pussy and you old heads be reactionary as well.
Yes, because at the same time, you know why? And to give a proper explanation, if you tell me suck your dick, challenging my manhood. Right. It's not just words at that point. You coming from my head. Some may be like, oh, yo, you got to grow up and you got to let that shit go. No, bro, because how I hold myself is what either opens doors or closes doors. I don't bend that for nobody. You know what I'm saying? And that's the difference between y'all. Y'all will fuck around. I remember he called a dude a fuck nigga. That was off site. Like, yo, we have to throw down. Yeah. Because it's not only that you said it to me, it's because I'm going to hold you accountable to the words that you choose. And I honestly could say your era, the men in your era are not held accountable. You guys are given this safety pillow and honestly so spoiled. It's like you guys forget how the real world is. I'll go back to say it. A lot of y'all don't understand how cruel men can be. You don't understand how lonely it is for us. We go through a lot of hardship, and that's something that was honorable. Now it's like, yo, poor me. Ain't no real man feel bad for himself. Ain't no real man gonna allow no misfortunate event to dictate what he got to do or how he got to live his life. That's the biggest issue between your era versus my era and the era that was before me. Mm-hmm. But it's now so bad that there's a disconnect that most of y'all don't even care. And that's another issue. If you don't care, you're literally shooting yourself in the foot. You got to get ahead of this shit. Because if you look at the whole, trying to basically confirm men to be very highly emotional and start acting like women, do you feel safe with your man? Like, no, not trying to take shots. Like, if you in a situation where you walking with your man, you got dudes basically sizing up. Do you feel that your man is actually going to cower down, or do you feel like he's going to hold it on his own and take the L? And when I mean take the L, he's going to take this ass whooping. But the reason he's taking the ass whooping because he knows at all costs it has to happen. Your era, in my opinion, is not willing to do that. Y'all not willing to take that L. Y'all not willing to go through that pain, not willing to go through that drive. And it's questionable because I don't know how most of y'all look yourselves in the mirror, knowing that you're okay not fighting back and standing up for yourself or standing for what you believe in or standing up for who you love. This is what it is. The rules never change. We're in the same building with different views. I can get that. But the mission hasn't changed. So when you talk about masculinity and providing all that shit, that's being an adult. But there's a segment where, what is a woman? A woman is a caretaker. We know that. But women hold the biggest fucking emotional, unstable process in their hearts. A lot of women go through a lot of fucking trial and error and unfortunate things, but they stay grounded. They don't basically tap out. We're talking about the older era, where now the new era is like, I'm a prize. I can dress how I want to. I can do what I want, but there's no convictions that you're held up against because you're always getting bailed out. It's always been like that for the most part for women, but now men are getting bailed out. Oh, he had a hard life, or he went through some shit. So has everyone else, but your position doesn't change. You don't get to tap out. Better yet, it's like, yo, the responsibility is always there. You don't get to tap out and be like, oh, I don't want to deal with that. And that's where, if you notice, a lot of old heads have problems with these younger kids because they don't have that discipline. It's not embedded into them. They're protected. They're shielded. And the world will eat you up. And the reason why I say the world will eat you up, here in this country, we are so spoiled and we are basically so well taken care of. It's like we almost forgot what it took to actually get here. We almost forgot, not almost, we did forget the sacrifices that the ones before us had to make. Men now are not willing to take that sacrifice. They're highly unstable. They're highly emotional because they don't like the cards they've been dealt. That's what you call tough. Too bad. It is what it is, but own it. Because when I see your era of generation of, guys versus women, the guys I have an issue with because I don't think it's appropriate for y'all to basically just say, I don't want to do that. You don't get to choose that. That's some coward shit. That is some true coward shit. If you do something, you make your bed, you lay in it. The fact that they're not willing to lay in their bed, that's why I find this questionable. Do you consider yourself a man? And not to him particularly, but just as a whole, bro. And is that a point where now the more mannish you are, the more you go under attack, the more that you're looked upon as a threat because it's like, nah, you know what, Jay, man, you too extreme. You need to get with the times. Yo, you're too rough. You're too hard. I'm like, how? How is it that when I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing? A lot of times people don't like the life they live and they think because they don't like the life they live, they're entitled to get a way out. No, that's not how that works. You got to be willing to ride the storm. You got to be willing to go through that hardship. But the era of men of your generation don't want to go through that hardship. So what ends up happening becomes a disconnect. And now you have women trying to be that are actually harder than the males. Yeah. So how do you even fix that? How would you even go about fixing that? What do you think needs to happen in order to reestablish that balance?
Because this is what's going to happen, bro. This is how this is going to get fixed. Honestly, then this is how it's going to get fixed. It will, because this is what's going to happen. The people that adhere to this new wave stuff, they aren't gonna make it in regards to like bloodline wise. I mean, there are going to be a lot that do, but ultimately, what's going to keep this country afloat are the people that stick to their traditional roles and keep moving forward in that way. Because there are plenty of people who don't. But
you say that though,
no, because
it's under attack.
Because this is going to happen, right? Because it's like this, and plenty of people, you'll see this online. Plenty of people, it's like with the OnlyFans girls, right? These OnlyFans girls, they're getting their money, they're making their cash or whatever, but they're not getting into long-term relationships, they're not getting married, they're not having kids, right? No one wants to get with that kind of person. And you'll see plenty of people say, just wait in like 10 years when you see what happens to these girls in the long run, right? And so I believe because of that, the people of that generation, when they see that, oh, living this lifestyle got me fucking nowhere, they're gonna go, well, hey, what were the other people doing that allowed them to actually make something of their lives? And they're gonna go that route, right? Because sometimes people have to fuck around and find out for the future. You know what I'm saying?
I have to disagree with that because if that was the case, we would be seeing that. There's too many bailouts.
It's only because it just started.
Yeah, it's just a lot of time.
I don't think it just started. It's been going that way because if that wasn't the case, hence the reason saying that strong men make easy times make weak children, weak children make hard times. That is truly evident. We're
in the hard times right now.
We're in the hard times, but as long as we continue this direction, again, I consider myself a real man, but my values, not that I'm old school, my values are being threatened. They're being used against me because they're either seen controlling, irrational. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. So for you to say that, oh, it's going to basically reset itself.
Yeah, because this is why.
If it was going to reset itself, when? Because if you look at the generations before me, they were way harder than me.
Yeah.
It's just getting softer and softer and softer.
But check it.
Where's the tipping point?
So men have been pushed where they become so soft that like as a result of all this anguish coming from men wanting to reach out and be who they're supposed to be, the whole red pill thing started. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Because of the attack on masculinity, we had to be pushed to the extremes. That's when you get motherfuckers like Fresh and Fit. You get motherfuckers like Andrew Tate. You get people like that.
But those are not even men.
No, but listen, these are this is the reaction to what's being attacked. You know what I'm saying? It's like the body is like, this is the antibodies to the attack on masculinity. We have to fight fire with even stronger fire. Right? So they have to go to the extremes of what's considered masculinity for it then to balance itself out. Why? Because I think of it like this, right? You see these people, the overly masculine people, where it's almost like a caricature, right? They do their thing, they put on their show or whatever, and then people ingest that. And the motherfuckers who are smart, they're gonna take what they learn from these guys, they're going to attempt to apply it to their lives, and when it doesn't work, they're gonna be forced to tweak it in the way that forces them to tone it down. And once they reach that sweet spot, that's what's going to become the norm. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you can't go around and grab one by the pussy. What is the toned down version of that? You talk to them, you treat them like people. You know what I'm saying? Right? And so but at the same time, you don't roll over to your partner in a way that they lose respect for you, because what the unfortunate truth is for men and women is that men or women, you have to keep frame all the time. So what is the appropriate frame that what is the appropriate frame for men or women that promotes longevity? And we're going to find that sweet spot either in this generation or the next. And that's what's going to continue for normalcy. You know what I'm saying? Because like we're starting to realize that all this stuff that's being pushed isn't working, because what pushes it? Media and corporations. And when the corporations fucking realize this shit isn't working, they're not making money, right? And you'll see this in plenty of TV shows, right? Or like how like women are evidently stronger than men, or they're better than men in every way. Women can't be saved by men. That shit's not fucking making money. You'll see that in Disney. Well, that's the main corporate in fucking Disney, because that's like one of the biggest corporations in the world. And it's not making money, so they have to go back to form. They have to go back to fucking portraying actually believable characters again. And once that shit gets pushed out, we're going to absorb that. We're going to fucking apply it to our lives. And that's what's going to become normal again. You know, this stuff.
Honestly, I'll be real with you, I don't see it. And the reason I don't see it with the example that you used is you're saying that it's going to go back to normal. Bro, we're so far gone.
Yeah, it has to snap back.
But in order for it to snap back, you would have to pull the Frederick Douglass move where you would have to do a kill off. You know what I'm saying? Because you're contaminated.
No, but that's the thing.
You're contaminated in the sense of, I see a lot of shorties out here who they say they want a real man, right? But the real man is targeted. The real man is thrown into exile. So if the real man is thrown into exile, what are you left with? The weekend, the ones where now you have the young dudes who are emotional. Now you have the dudes who are highly sensitive. These are the ones who are destructing the fabric that is basically made up, that basically, you know, represents us at the core.
Here's the thing. You can't fight instinct. You know what I'm saying? We can only fight instinct for so long. Like, it's because there's a loud minority of women saying that they want their men to be sweet and emotional and in touch with their feelings and stuff like that.
But they don't even want those guys.
Exactly. They don't want them. So when the market gets overrun with those men, they aren't going to find mates. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking about this purely scientifically.
But the reason why you say that, right? This is where I have the issue. And to not go off topic, let's look at women, for instance, right? Yeah. Saw a video where they had interviewed some chick in Miami. She's 49 years old. Mm-hmm. She's with a 22-year-old friend. Friend. Right? Both girls.
Yeah.
They're both going after the same male.
Yeah.
Do you understand how dangerous that is?
Wow.
So I don't think women, number one, acknowledge that these old, bitter women, they are your competition, and they know even that you're their competition, and they're sabotaging you. Because nothing's worse. How is it that you have this older person who just got out of divorce, fucked up, but she's going after the same caliber man as you? She is your enemy. It's like, imagine two homeboys going after the same girls. Do you know the same girl? Do you know what type of response that's going to do? That's going to be major drawback.
Yeah.
So the reason why I bring that up, as I think about it, is like, okay, we see that's going on. But on the male side, when you talk about the red pill and these dudes basically representing, that shit is weak to me because it's not sustainable. It's not real. You know, a lot of people think a man has to be like G.I. Joe, Mr. Strong Mode. No. In my opinion, again, correct me if I'm wrong, what truly makes a man is acknowledging the position in his life, not complaining about it, going through it, swallowing it. And I know that sounds very old school and whatnot, but swallowing it, because like, if you want to be in touch in your feelings, and I said it 1,000 times, feelings in life get you killed. That will get you killed. The feelings in your life will get you killed because it impairs your ability to think rationally and operate straight. So that being said, when I look at your era, you guys are highly unstable. You guys are completely highly unstable.
No, and Dejour says that's the point. It can only go for so long before it snaps back, is what I'm saying.
Okay, so you keep saying snap back. Yeah. You really believe 2 generations from now is going to revert back?
Yeah.
Whether it takes 2, 3, 4, in this world, there always has to be a balance. The scales can never be tipped for on one side or the other for too long.
Yeah.
If it does, it like Ben said, it has to snap back.
Because you know what? You know where the problems are happening? Mm-hmm. It's fucking happening in the West. Nowhere else in the fucking world are we.
Let me tell you. Let me tell you something. I saw a video. I saw a TikTok, and it was correct me if I'm wrong, you guys. Mm-hmm. You know, I don't know the correct terminology. But he lives in the Middle East, and I don't know the religion that believes in Allah.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Muslim.
Yes, I believe he was Muslim, and so he was basically characterizing Muslim women, and how sometimes they have arranged marriages, and sometimes he'll have some Muslim women be very very, very flirtatious. In the West, it would be considered modest, like, oh, how you're so funny, like that kind of stuff.
And he's like, don't fucking touch me.
And at least, to him, he didn't even say the word hoe, he spelled it out. And he was very like, whether, a woman comes on to me in a very provocative way or in a modest way, it is my job as a man to like look the other way.
Shut it down.
To shut it down. And I thought it was very interesting because, he said that since you're a little boy, you are raised to, if you see a woman, whether she is dressed normally, in clothes, provocative, or covered from head to toe, not even the eyes are showing, you look away because, that's just like how they're raised, and, and probably like their religion as well. And it was interesting to see, you know, like how they're raised and their culture and their values, you know, their principles.
Okay.
Personally, I think
final thoughts, because we got
me personally, I think that what's gonna happen is that there's gonna be what's happening is that a lack of discipline is being popularized. Again, it's not gonna be able to go for long. What's gonna fix this country, what's going to fix society is the reintroduction of discipline, whether it's financially, sexually, mentally. Discipline is the key to fucking fixing everything, you know? And it's like what's happening in these other countries, their problems aren't the same as the West. And if you see it being reflected in those other countries, it's because the West is infecting it, right? And what I think is going to happen is that there's enough people to push back on what's happening in the West to where it's not really going to take off. And honestly, what I think is going to happen, maybe like 100 or so years, is that if we don't get back on our discipline shit, being the superpower of the fucking world, we're going to get wiped, and then that'll just be it. You know. Thoughts? So bring discipline back.
You know, I agree with Ben. You know, eventually, sooner or later, it does have to snap back. You know. Yeah, basically.
It always does. Like, I mean, you said it. Weak times.
Yeah.
How do you say it?
Strong men make easy times make weak men make hard times.
Okay.
So my final thoughts on it, and again, Dejor says only in America. It's not in America, bro. This is all over the fucking world, believe it or not. It's the Western ideology, because you got this in Australia, you got this in Europe, you got this in Thailand, like you got this everywhere. The conditioning, the reason why I can honestly say it's not going to snap back, because history shows us we don't go back when it comes to certain calibers of this magnitude. Because for it to go back means you would have to alienate the new generation for where we are right now. You have to understand AI factors in.
Yeah.
What is AI, social media, all that shit? As long as that shit stays relevant, there is going to be no more men. There isn't. Because they basically been thrown in, you know what I'm saying? You have these shorties out here who've been given a platform. And I'm not talking only from when I say a platform, who are given the right of passage to do what the fuck they want. And you see it now. More men are virgins now. More women are fucking drinking like their father than cooking like their mother. That shit don't go backwards. Because if you follow carefully, look at your grandparents, look at your parents. By era, by generation, it is getting worse and worse and worse. Because what you guys are saying, trust me, our grandparents were being told the same shit when they were kids. We only can go forward. And as we go forward, we're losing that fabric. It's not going to come back. Because the reason I can honestly say, in my opinion, it's not going to come back because there's too many things in effect for us to go back. This is where we are now.
Yeah.
And every person who's tried to bring that back, where did they end up at? Either dead, jail, or missing. That is a fact. So I appreciate your modesty and your optimistic, being optimistic about it. But let's call a spade a spade. Because if that was the case, we wouldn't be where we are right now.
Yeah.
That's the truth. You have to really question yourself. What is it that we're doing? Because especially you're younger than me. You know what I'm saying? You have the world in your hands. We are very different, extremely different. We might share the same ideas, but our upbringing is extremely fucking different. And that rift alone is why shit is the way it is. You can't relate. And if you have a whole entire generation who can't relate to a certain situation, you would call that lost. Because it's like, yo, imagine me putting you in a calculus and you never did math a day of your life. How the fuck you think you're going to do? You're not going to do well at all. You're going to face plant that shit.
Rio Guild says, I feel like tech kills masculinity because we lack survival skills.
Yeah.
How many men can build a fire, hunt, fish,
and not even
tire,
better.
build a motor?
How many men can approach a woman?
Yeah.
Men can't approach a woman. Men don't know how to accept rejection.
I feel that.
That's where I'm, you know what I'm saying?
I get you.
Men flourish when there's a need for survival. Yeah,
so
I agree.
On that note, you know what I'm saying? As we close out, we appreciate you guys basically tying in with us, man. Make sure if it's your first time, you hit that like and subscribe button. Let them know where they can find you at, yo.
They can find me on Instagram, Natalie, 2 I's, 2 E's, _01.
You can find me at Sir Zaniel Ben. That's Zaniel with an X. Sir Zaniel Ben on Instagram.
And you already know, man, it's your gearhead, Mr. Logic himself, man. You can find me at Logic142 on Instagram. Holla at your boy, yo. We'll see y'all next Friday, yo.
Yes,
and on that note, it's been one thing for sure,
two things for certain,
baby.
Out.
Peace, 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 peace.